Welcome back to my channel. This is Kenlin for the energy and astrology of this Pluto moving back into Capricorn. So on this recording, it's September 1st. And from now until around the 19th of November, Pluto is retrograding into Capricorn. So it's at that 29-degree point. And it's in Capricorn. It's back in the old world. Now, Capricorn rules governments and structures and banking and top down and authority, the sign that's known for its conservatism and its structure, stability. And Aquarius is known for quite the opposite. It's like where the weirdos rule or the weird ideas or the iconoclasts, like flying your freak flag. Also, diversity of ideas because it's decentralized. And so there doesn't need to be homogeny. It in fact needs to be diverse. And so Capricorn is really this top down. Remember how the media used to have like the networks and then the show was at 7 o'clock and you either got the TV at 7 o'clock or you missed the show. And the Aquarian model is more like, no, we have lots of shows at all the times and you can get the recording and listen to it whenever you want. So that kind of idea is what Aquarius is about, plus using technology, innovation, out of the box thinking. You know, its shadow side is cold. It's air, so it's just not emotional or relational. So it's communal, but not relational. And it favors AI. So that's why we're seeing this explosion of AI, and that I think we're going to see big time starting in 2025. Like we have not seen anything yet. We've been gearing up behind the scenes, you know, as this retrograde, all the behind the scenes, and then bam, we're going to start seeing an explosion of AI, and it's going to change the landscape of our work, our jobs, our connections, our communication, everything. And I know that inside my community, we have a lot of divine feminine women in midlife, and a lot of women are like, you know, I hate all that stuff. I don't want to touch it. I get that. And that really prioritizes the human side. And that's a really beautiful upside. So you can start gearing and crafting your life around that upside. What does it mean to be in community? What does it mean to be with people? What do we need for it to have workability? If we're going to have intentional living spaces, what does that mean? How do we get along? How do we make decisions? How do we clean the kitchen? Who takes out the trash? When do we get to have guests over? You know, there's still lots of details to work out, even when we're dealing with people. But I also want to say to that population, look, we get to also embrace technology because it's not going away at all. And in fact, I know for myself, as the founder of the Evolving Sisters Network, we want to be relevant to the women of the future and we want a global community. This is our time. This is our platform and our forum. So we have to both and. We don't have to, but we get to both and because that's what's showing up. And every time we have one thing that shows up, it produces the equal and opposite as well. So that's the yoga that we get to operate under during this. Well, right now we're in a transition, but as we go into Aquarius fully, the next 20 years are going to change dramatically. So let's start by being adaptable and being open and being fluid, as we are also stable in something that's not out there, it's in here. That's what we've been working on as spiritual women. So I want to talk about this. Yeah, Pluto at that 29-degree point. Now, the 29-degree point is known as the critical degree point of any sign. So it's kind of like devoid of its real juice because it's moving into another sign. So because it's moving backwards, we're going to feel maybe more of the crisis around it. And that might make us feel afraid. It might bring up crap from 2020 that we felt and the fear that we felt then. So this is just a call to action to not get enrolled Like, don't let yourself get enrolled in all of that fear. Just remember that this too will pass and that it's an actual rite of passage. Think about all the action adventure movies like the Indiana Jones or the Lord of the Rings. Like, there's always some mythical rite of passage before you get to the new promised land, right? We have to go through it. And this is one last pass. And, friends, we're not going to be seeing that ever again in our lifetime, because it takes so long for Pluto to orbit the Earth that we are never in our lifetime, we will not experience Pluto in Capricorn again. So this is literally the closing out of an era. And I've said this before, what an incredible time to be alive, even if it's just freaking intense. And it's got ups and downs and shifts and changes, and we don't know which way is up. It's like Alice in Wonderland. But truly, we are living in the change of an age. We are the ones that when we are older, will look back and say, holy crap, we were there. We watched it happen. We were building businesses. We were coaching. We were healing. We were working on ourselves. We were being the light during that time. So let's not get enrolled in what we can fear will happen. We might see the rise of elitism, the rise of the consolidation of power, because those are Capricornian themes, but know that decentralization and equality are actually the themes of Aquarius. And we also have 4 planets, not just Pluto, but 3 others. Uranus today, we've had Neptune already at the 29-degree point retrograde in Pisces. And then we've had Saturn retrograde, and Saturn and Jupiter are going to switch spots. So we've got a lot of seemingly backward moving energy, which really is that to our naked eye, or like if we look at it, it looks like that's what's happening, but it's not happening. And some astrologers don't even like retrogrades at all, but I feel that I can feel them, and maybe you can too, where things just slow down to invite a deeper listening into what does the future hold, and then act on those breadcrumb trails. And that was part of the new moon transmission in Virgo, if you saw that video. I think it's also a time where the kind of the last gasp. If you've seen movies about a dead body, sometimes this is kind of gross, but you see like the body died, but then it's like bah, and then it dies. It's kind of like that last gasp. And the body's movements after death are because there's electrical pulses going through the body. And it takes a minute to shut off all the circuits. And I think we could use that metaphor here. So this is the time to get your empowerment on, get it online. Don't outsource it to circumstances. Bring it inward, because the people are rising. We are rising. It is written. That is what's going to happen. And we get to stay the course through this initiation rite of passage point, as we're like sailing these seas, going through this place where the Loch Ness monster and, all the 2-headed monsters are. And we're going to navigate that narrow canal, and we're going to find ourselves in the open lands of the unknown, where there is no horizon. So we get to breathe through this. This is monumental. And you said yes. I said yes. And I'm reminding myself as I remind you. So the next 3 months, we're on this ride. Let's do this together. And may all beings benefit from the merits of our efforts.